Want 100 rides and things to do in Aurora, Ohio? There's a place for you.
Geauga makes the place. Make no mistake, Geauga makes as much fun as you can take. Geauga makes the place.
Welcome back to Rampaging Rex Productions, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Amusement Preservation Museum Open House. This is a private collection that's in Northeast Ohio, but they have an open house for everyone to come check it out once a year for 2 days. I missed out on it last year, but there was no way I was going to miss it this year, especially after seeing pictures from the last one of all the cool stuff these people have. Now this is just in their driveway. Like I said, this is a private collection, but it's just impressive to me that they were able to set all of this up. And most of it's from parks that aren't around anymore, as well as a few that are still around. Like there's a lot of Cedar Point stuff in there. As you can see, we're going to look at that sign here in just a second. You know I'm a big fan of Geauga Lake and I miss it dearly. Well, there it is, front and center on the sign right there, as well as places like Euclid Beach, Conneaut Lake, Swordsville Lake, or Americana, if you will. Nobody ever talks about Americana. So there's a lot to go through, and it's very impressive the amount of stuff they were able to preserve and have in the collection here. Starting off with this very cool boat from Shoot the Rapids at Cedar Point, which now is kind of gone down in infamy because of the accident that happened that led to its closure. It only lasted a few years. The bumper cars here, I think they're all from Cedar Point, but it's still pretty cool to see, and I love the skeletons in there. I will always approve of the use of skeletons, and those hard hats that they're wearing are all from various Geauga Lake construction tours and media days over the years. The one in the center says Six Flags Ohio. Here's Heather showing off a car from Witch's Wheel at Cedar Point. Never did get to ride that, but you know, I rode Volcano at Kennywood. And here we have the gears from Blue Streak at Conneaut Lake, may it rest in peace. Still not over that, never did get that credit. Two flags over Niagara, now what's now known as Niagara Amusement Park, formerly Fantasy Island. These are the cars from their old Schwarzkopf Wildcat when that was there. And those skeletons seem like they're having a good time, and I mean, who wouldn't on a Schwarzkopf? I didn't get to ride that Wildcat. I think it was gone before I was even born. But I did get to ride the Wildcat that they have at Adventure Park USA that used to be at Williams Grove. So definitely an important coaster to me. Now take a look at this. I want you to take a guess at what coaster this train is from. It's PTC, so that has to narrow it down. Almost there. Yep, we're talking about Thunderhawk at Dorney Park. I think 2016 it got some new trains, and these were the old ones. So once those trains were replaced, this is where one of them went. Got the Dorney Park logo right there, and I think you got the PTC plaque there at the bottom right. So I think he's got a full train here as well. He only had one car on display, but there were some more in the backyard. Still have yet to ride that. Probably going to do that this summer. Take a look at this one. Which one is this from? I'll give you a hint. It's a Geauga Lake coaster. We're going to find out here in just a second. Definitely has been down the track a couple times. Yep, Big Dipper. The classic Big Dipper that would have stood along with Kennywood's Jackrabbit as one of the best historic wooden coasters of all time if it were around today. I don't believe this was one of the trains that it ran right up until it closed. I think this was replaced at some point. But I'm pretty sure it's a PTC train. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. I am not 100% sure. This is interesting to see. They actually have a restraint from Dollywood's old Huss Topple Tower. Never did get to ride that. I think that was long gone before I even made my first visit there. I think Marineland has one of those still. I might be wrong on that. How about the bumper cars from Worlds of Fun in Kansas City, Missouri? Now here's something where the trash cans are most certainly not trash. How about all these Geauga Lake trash cans from all the different phases of when Cedar Fair owned them? You had Hurricane Hannah's there, Geauga Lake by itself, Geauga Lake and Wildwater Kingdom. And now we're moving over to the Columbus Zoo in Ohio. Redwood Falls, their log flume ride, which closed in 2020. They have a log from it, and I don't know if you caught that there, but this log was added in 2019, and the ride closed in 2020. So this log only ran for one season before it was removed. Seems like a waste of money if you ask me. Now here's a park I didn't even know about before I came here. Lenape Park that used to be in Westchester, Pennsylvania. I had never heard of this park. It used to be called Mainline Park, obviously, based off that train there. But their express wooden coaster operated right up until the park closed, I think. And that's what this train is from. I believe the front car is going to get restored, but the other ones are going to stay the same for historical purposes. Still though, you just got to imagine all the memories tied to it. Here we are entering the first of the 2 garages that they have full of merchandise here and memorabilia. A lot of Geauga Lake stuff in here. That Grand Carousel sign, I remember seeing that sign in the park. It was surreal to see it again. There's also a lot of stuff in here from Conneaut. This Geauga Lake sign, I'm not exactly sure where it hung inside the park, but it had to be pre-2000 before it was rebranded to Six Flags Ohio. I love that logo though. I'd definitely get that on a shirt. Here's another piece of Geauga Lake history. I believe this is from a walkthrough haunt from the first ever Six Flags Ohio Fright Fest. I didn't go during Fright Fest, so I'm not sure. If anybody could find a picture of that sign at the park, please let me know. Here we have more pieces of Blue Streak at Conneaut Lake. A credit will always be upset that I never got to get. I heard it was legendary. I have friends who still talk about it. And there's that carousel sign again, along with some I don't know where these cars are from. I'm not sure what... I might be from Coney Island, based off that sign at the bottom right. A sign from Americana Amusement Park, or Swordsville Lake, if you will. And I'm not sure if that Joyland sign is from Joyland in Wichita or Joyland in Texas. Either or, they're both gone now, sadly, but it's still pretty cool to see. And that Americana Speedway sign, definitely Americana Amusement Park. Good old Middletown, Ohio. Never did get to visit that one when it was around. And it's all gone now. And here we are entering the second of the 2 garages, along with one of the crown jewels of the Amusement Preservation Museum's collection, a fully restored original PTC Raging Wolf Bob's train. Now this might conflict with what some of you guys know, because in its last few years, Raging Wolf Bob's ran Gerstlauer trains, but no, this ran PTCs, and if you look right there, the front of it said Fright Fest when they got it. And I'm going to cut to some footage here from Dark Ride Archive on YouTube. If you look, it was actually used during Fright Fest as a display with skeletons in it with the Fright Fest decal. So here it is at Six Flags, and here it is now, fully restored. Just amazing to see the craftsmanship and work that they put into this. All the seats are reupholstered. I sat in one, I took a couple pictures, very comfortable. I could have fallen asleep there if I really wanted to. Just amazing that this piece of Geauga Lake is still touring around, and they take it to museums and like parades and stuff. It's great to see. Now for all of you Cedar Point fans, in case you ever wondered where that giant model of Steel Vengeance that was in the arcade ended up, well, here it is. This is where it went. They raffled it off last year during Winter Chill Out, and here it ended up. I'm just amazed they were able to fit it in this garage given how much space it takes up. But it's just... the model is absolutely as massive as the real thing. I can't believe that they made this. Just an absolutely insane coaster all around. Though I think Wildcat's Revenge might have beat it as my favorite RMC. Yeah, I know. Hot take. How about this banner from Ghost Lake at Conneaut Lake, an event I'm still sad that I never got to experience. Halloween is my absolute favorite holiday. I would have had a field day going to that. I know they still do it, but it's not the same. And here we have some coaster train wheels from various coasters over the years. They have wheels from both Dips and Racing Whippet from Westview Park. The park that used to be here in Western PA, very close to Kennywood actually. And that one is from Chippewa Lake, one of the infamous abandoned amusement parks that is still in pictures. Those first 2 are from Waldameer. And I think the last one there is from Idora Park, and this one's from Invertigo at California's Great America. Kind of funny to see a somewhat recent coaster in here. Now these trains are from, I believe they're from Euclid Beach. We're about to find out here in just a second when I zoom in. Yep, Derby Racer at Euclid Beach. And when the coaster in the park closed, they sat behind an ice cream parlor in the elements for years, which is why they're in such bad shape now. I talked to Troy, who's the owner of most of this stuff, and he told me that these are not going to be restored. They're going to be left alone for like historical preservation. And you just got to think, like, the amount of rides that these cars provided over the years. How many people had memories in here. Definitely got to plug their Facebook page here. Amusement Preservation Museum. Like them on Facebook. Now here's a little bonus that they had set up in the backyard. The refurbished, restored swinging gyms from Salzer's Playland. Salzer's Kittyland, excuse me, actually are in the backyard. And it's kind of one of those things that you would see in like a viral video of one of those self-powered amusement parks. it's as though someone took the old urban legend about kids, wanting to swing the swing set over the top and do a full 360 and turned it into this. You can do a full 360 if you really want to, but it takes a lot of physical exertion. You gotta really try to get it over the top. I hung out here for a while. I was not able to see a single person get over the top. It can be done though. I've seen videos of it, but I didn't see it in person. So, pretty fun, but I can see why these things pretty much don't exist in parks anymore. That would be kind of an insurance liability if someone were to fall and get hurt. So, great that this is preserved here, though. I'd almost recommend going to an open house here just to try this out. And we're going to take one final look here out over the driveway and all of the cool stuff that they have on display, because we're coming out down towards the end of my visit here, but not the end of the video, as you'll see. But overall, just a fantastic day, an excellent trip down memory lane. Thank you to Troy and everyone from the Amusement Preservation Museum for setting this up. I had an absolute blast looking through this. But the day did not end there. No, I was feeling nostalgic, so yep, I went to Geauga Lake. I mean, it was only an hour away. I had to, And even though there's hardly anything left to see, it's just nice to walk around and reminisce. The historical marker here is looking good. Well, on one side anyway. The other side, it seems like it needs a little bit of paint touch-up there. We've been exposed to the elements for a bit too long. I would have gone here for the dedication in 2017, but I was off at college at the time. Glad to see the original ballroom is still here. I think when Six Flags and Cedar Fair owned the park, they just used this as a storage room, but it'll be interesting to see what they turn this into. I'm just glad it's still here. It's pretty much the oldest building that was in the park, and now it's one of the last. I'm going to take a walk along the fence line here. You can still see the old SeaWorld aquarium off in the background there. And in the time that since I filmed this, new plans have come out from the city of Aurora that would involve turning part of the old SeaWorld side into a public park. And that would include turning that aquarium into a restaurant. So we're going to see if that turns into a real thing. I sure hope it does. What we're looking at here are the remnants of the old Six Flags Hurricane Harbor water park. A lot of slides, lazy rivers, and stuff would have been in here. Hardly anything left, but you can tell that this was a water park at one time. The old Geauga Lake wave pool that you can find in some old VHS videos was not far away.
I think those footers were for the...
And people just drive right by this. You can see it. You could look at that fence, and that is definitely a Six Flags style fence. Maybe the most coaster nerdy thing I've said this whole time. Now I've warped to the back side of the park here, and along here would have been the kiddie coaster, kind of in front of where I am right now, and to my left would have been the Grizzly Run Rapids ride. That was recently demolished, actually. The trough for Grizzly Run was still here up until about a month or two ago, a couple months. However, there is still one thing left if I go up to the gate here. If I zoom into this nondescript piece of rock, that's actually the back side of the Grizzly Run entrance sign. There's a sculpture of a grizzly holding a raft on the front. And from my understanding, that's actually going to be preserved in the new development, so I'm glad they're saving that. Here we're driving along the side of the park that would have been the connecting path that connected the Wild Rides or Geauga Lake side to the Wildlife or SeaWorld side of the lake. So this is the path you would walk along right behind that fence there. You're going to be able to see it here in just a second because there's going to be a gate. But we're heading towards the SeaWorld side now, and right there is where you would have connected and re-entered the SeaWorld side, or Wild Water Kingdom, whatever you want to call it. And there you go. You can see right in there, the old Shark Encounter building that was standing right up until last month is now long gone. It's a shame, but I would have liked to see if there was anything left in there. I don't think Cedar Fair ever did anything with it when it was Wild Water Kingdom. We're going to be coming up here on the SeaWorld parking lot right here. This would have been preferred parking. And this is all that's left of the parking lot. The rest of the parking lot is now taken over by a new development called Renaissance Park, so there's hardly anything left to see. A lot of debris and gravel in the parking lot, probably from the Shark Encounter building. And off in the distance there, yep, it's still there. The original SeaWorld Ohio entrance, also the entrance for Wild Water Kingdom. It's seen better days, but it's still there. I'm going to pull up a picture here of what it used to look like in its heyday when it was Wild Water Kingdom, and man, what a difference. Just a shame to see what it's become. All the sign's gone, it's all faded, and oh my gosh, so much pollen in the air. I was sneezing like crazy. I really hope they repurpose this. If the plan gets approved to have the city of Aurora buy this section of land, I hope they save that entrance and make it the new entrance to the park, because I would hate to see that demolished. There's a lot of history there. But this is all that's left of the parking lot, just the initial preferred parking area. You really can't see much of the original entrance here, because they have it blocked off. So here's me peeking through the trees trying to get a good shot of it. I was able to walk up a little bit further here and get a good shot of it, but I didn't want to risk trespassing. You're in full view of a road where people driving by, someone could have easily seen me. So I didn't want to take a chance, but there's what it looked like when it was SeaWorld. Just have the hanging baskets all down it, and it looked really nice. Wish I could have gone when it was still SeaWorld, but I was way too young. But I really hope this gets repurposed. So, a nice little nostalgic journey back through memory lane. So, thank you all for joining me for this look at Geauga Lake and also for the Amusement Preservation Museum. I hope you all enjoyed this little bit of nostalgia. And of course, thank you all for joining me here on Rampaging Rex Productions. I love making videos about roller coasters, so it's nice to have a little change of pace. So, I'll see you all next time. Keep it here on Rampaging Rex Productions for more roller coasters and retro video games.